Okay, I have a planetary hangar. Do I have a scorpion? Yes, I do have a scorpion. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, whatever you may be. My name is Endub, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Once again, my latest subscriber has deigned to remain anonymous, but I appreciate them joining the eternal crusade against the YouTube sorting algorithms, which I believe have changed again. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but recently when I searched Trays in the Infinite, the whole pile of content that was unrelated to Warhammer 40k was showing up in the search bar first. Seems like something is broke, but I'm not sure where the disconnect is. Anyway, enough tearing down the fourth wall and on to this week's news roundup, which has been rather Empire-heavy. Though that is to be expected given the recent events in the Empire. But first, federal news, since that's basically a footnote this week. The Federation is effectively split on whether Zachary Hudson's proposal to extend his term as president and repeal the 77th Amendment limiting the presidential term to 8 years should be allowed or not. At least I believe that's what the 77th Amendment does. Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't think anyone outside the Federation government actually has access to a copy of the Federal Constitution, and so I don't actually know the text. It is believed that the opposition leader— no, I am not calling her Shadow President anymore, it is a stupid term and I'm sick of it— Felicia Winters will be moving for a vote of no confidence against President Hudson soon. Anyway, with that out of the way, time to roll into Imperial news. Starting off, last week, the Affiliated Counter-Terrorism Unit, that's the ACT for people who only speak acronym, blew the top off of massive government-spanning conspiracy to kidnap and eventually replace Empress Arissa Lavigny Duval. Obviously, members of this so-called Lords of Restoration masterminded the rise of the Neo-Malinist Liberation Army and co-option of Malinism as a useful boogeyman, and though things did get admittedly out of hand when Theta 7 went off script and began targeting anyone and everyone that seemed to implicitly support the Imperial line known as the Vol. I'll be honest, I still had hopes that this was all a long game by the Emperor's Dawn, but alas, sometimes the old favourites never make a comeback. Anyway, currently the ACT is cooperating with presumably loyal elements of the Imperial Intelligence Services, which leads us directly into our second Imperial-centric news piece, after retaking her place on the throne and issuing no doubtedly hot film thanks to the work of the ACT in seeking out the truth, as well as her family, who never give up, as she issued a writ of exterminatus on the private military contractor Darkwater Inc., as they have been heavily implicated in the training of NMLA cells, and were additionally the ones holding the Empress captive for what must have been a long year. Additionally, incentives offered up by the Empire are immediate promotion to the rank of Master in the Imperial Navy Reserves, discounts on Imperial ships and weaponry in the Summerland system, and for 10 elite few commanders to achieve the most kills and destruction of Darkwater Inc. assets, the Empress has promised to issue them all an Imperial Hammer. For those of you that don't know, an Imperial Hammer is a purpose-built Class 2 railgun that fires 3 tungsten-tipped rods per charging cycle, compared to a normal railgun of the same classification, which only shoots 1. Normally this weapon is a closely guarded tool only fielded by agents loyal solely to the Empress herself. And now there is no way of knowing whether or not the Empress will personally sign each weapon, but I would like to think that she may. At time of recording, currently 68 billion credits worth of Darkwater assets have been destroyed, and with the PMC's assets having been frozen and declared excommunicatus traitoris by the Emperor, and there is no counter-community goal in their favour. As such, I do not see a future for this corporation. Though, a corporation that does have a shiny future ahead of itself certainly seems to be the Brewer Corporation, as they have begun the next round of stocking along the Colonia Bridge project. That's S-T-O-C-K, not S-T-A-L-K, mind you. And you know the drill, deliver the goods to the McDonald's settlement in Alcor or Jaquez Station in Colonia, This go-around, they have been requesting performance enhancers, personal weapons, and survival equipment. What are they doing? Preparing to hire a bunch of Finnish mercenaries as security? Questions for another time. Completion of this community goal will allow Pioneer supplies, crew lounges, and search and rescue to base themselves out of the stations along the Colonia Bridge. Sounds like a fun time. The Alliance is, well, still the Alliance, though nothing crazy has happened there this week. You'd think with the sort of an anarcho-capitalism that happens there, this whole Darkwater situation would have occurred in Alliance space, but no, it was the Empire. And I believe this quote from the independent journalist Flint Firemaker Lafrouse covers what's going on in the Dan HIP 12314 and Nani systems quite well. We've got the Alliance trying to sell its own people to Ceres Corporation, the Empire somehow misplacing its own emperor, and the Federation being torn to pieces by its current president. Who's got time to worry about Thargoids? I'll tell you who. The civilians and the systems they're invading. Our so-called leaders are praying that Salvation will step in to save the day, but he could be an alien himself for all we know. Quite well said, if I do say so myself. Anyway, that is this week's news. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that little bell for notifications, and to join me in my eternal crusade against YouTube and its sorting algorithms. And hopefully I will see you all in the next video.